John McAfee is known for founding McAfee Antivirus, a cryptocurrency evangelist, and a privacy activist. In this episode of the Easy Prey podcast, John shares the lengths he goes to protect his own privacy and one significant unexpected cost. John lives and plays by his own rules, and this interview is no exception. If you're sensitive to profanity, I suggest that you pause now and head over to easyprey.com/26 for a clean transcript.
Hello, world. My name is John McAfee, and you, fortunately, my friends, are listening to the Easy Prey podcast.
Appreciate the value of your time, so thank you so much for coming on the Easy Prey podcast.
All right. I'm happy to be on here, and thank you for asking me, my friend.
You're very welcome. So I know that privacy and security is paramount to you and highly valued in your world, and would love to spend some time talking about that. Is that good for you?
You bet. Let's do it.
I'm kind of curious of what precautions you take when you go online, because you are remaining in incognito mode, so to speak. What do you do to keep yourself safe?
Well, first and foremost, neither myself nor my wife, Janice, have telephones, cell phones at least. These are the universal spy devices. And if you have one, even if you buy a brand new one, if you call even 3 people that you called before and a government is looking for you, they're going to find you within 5 minutes. Plus, the smartphones are susceptible to spyware, which you can get by just cruising on Pornhub or something like that. So we have no phones. Number 2, we are in a Faraday cage where no signals can come in or leave. It's soundproof because it used to be made out of tinfoil, or almost tinfoil. If you go back about a year, you will see that this room was all tinfoil. It got very ugly, the light reflected, and we eventually soundproofed it, put the soundproofing over it, but it's a Faraday cage. So that none of my electronic communications, like Wi-Fi or anything else, will get out of this room. The next thing is we have to have, obviously, a serious virtual private network, not something like a NordVPN, which you can download from Google for $80 a year. That's not going to protect you people. You have to have some very serious VPNs. Ours go through 9 different countries. Starting with Amsterdam in the Netherlands, going on to Vietnam, Russia, Tierra del Fuego, believe it or not, and on. And so it makes our communications a little bit laggy sometimes. But so just the normal precautions that any security expert would recommend. Disinformation. We give as much disinformation as possible. We will visit a country for a day or two and take 35 photos and then publish them on Twitter, suggesting we're in Germany or the south of France or the west coast of Spain or once Portugal, 3 times England, whatever. So that people are continually guessing. You have to be vigilant, and it's work every day in order to remain hidden.
Yeah, I mean, it's one step or multiple steps well beyond what we would normally tell people of when you're on vacation. Don't post pictures of your vacation because then everybody knows you're not home. You've kind of got the reverse issue where you're posting pictures of all over the place at random times, so no one knows where you are.
Plus, obviously, we will never post a photo of a place that we've been while we're still there.
Yeah.
Always a few days after we've left, we then post the photos. Also, I mean, we do trivial things like bogus the date and time of all of our photos, even when we post them to Twitter, because even though Twitter, for example, strips the X-if information, that's the information which is every photo. Listen, the government can come in and with a subpoena and say, I want to look at those photos before they're stripped. So we bogus them up with everything, location, time, date, just to fuck with people.
It's clearly the Eiffel Tower, but it has LA geolocation data and Buenos Aires time zone.
Well, no, if it's clearly Eiffel Tower, it will have the Eiffel Tower location, but it'll have a date of 5 days before or a month before or something of that nature. So, no, we're not trying to do the obvious absurdities. I mean, if it's Eiffel Tower, for example.
That is a bit of a giveaway.
If it's clearly the Eiffel Tower and we have the location of LA, then they know we're fucking with them. But if it's clearly the Eiffel Tower and it's got the location of the Eiffel Tower and an approximate time for the sun, angles and things, then we can throw whatever fucking date we want in there, and that's what we do. Mm-hmm. So no, I've been doing this my whole life. It is simply, you're going to take 1,000 people to try and locate me, and even then, I will find out that you're trying to locate me and getting close, and I'll simply, how easy it is for us to move somewhere. We just take our fucking tiles with us and create another room in another location. Good God Almighty.
I mean, that is convenient of whether you have a tile background or a virtual background, that if you change locations, it's really hard for anyone to even notice that because it's the same background regardless.
We used tile because that friggin' tinfoil room was echoey. Okay.
Yeah, and it probably doesn't look particularly great on the eyes.
No, it doesn't. But we did that for 4.5 months. All of our videos were from for a room. People going, "Are you in a grow room for marijuana?"
So you talked about using your own kind of homegrown VPN solution. What do you think about Tor as for most people or yourself?
It was infiltrated by the CIA many years ago. People, you might as well take out advertisements in the New York Times and discuss your private matters there.
Yeah, I've always wondered if the CIA or any other clandestine spy organization is actually running a VPN service company themselves in order to monitor kind of their own clients.
Many of them are running their own VPNs. And Tor was so infiltrated, it is impossible to have any privacy with Tor. None. Zero. There's no anonymity. Do you realize you only need to infiltrate 10% of a network like that? How hard is that for an organization with infinite resources? Please, people, wake up. I mean, seriously. Hey, are you Tor? Are you crazy? No, I mean, I don't use the New York Times for my private communications either. I mean, hey, Susan, it's like calling the New York Times ad office. I'd like to take out a full-page ad, please. Yes. What would I like to say? Susan, very strict confidence. I'd like to meet you at 10 o'clock on Friday for a clandestine affair. No, you might as well do that. Seriously.
A billboard in New York Times Square.
Billboard in Times fucking Square. Tor has zero. See, and so do, please, people. Good God Almighty. People say, why don't you use Proton Mail? Have you lost your minds? If it is advertised at all and it's encrypted, it's owned by the KGB, the CIA, the FBI, or somebody, but sure as fuck no privacy there, I promise you. Google is about the best tragic. It's tragic. But why don't you try it? You can go and buy for $49, I think, a piece of spyware called Read and Verify, which you can now use that as a front end to your email, so that when people open one of your emails, get a notification. So-and-so opened it. They were in this location. Try that with a fucking Google email account. It can't be done. You can do it with Proton Mail. You can do it with every encrypted email service. but you can't do it with Google. I'm sorry, people. Wake the fuck up. Stop being assholes just because you don't like Google and say, oh, their email is shit. No, it's the only secure email, and it's not very secure at that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know on my website for many years I've had a trace email tool. And I mean, I remember, back in the day, everybody included the IP addresses of the senders and the headers, and it was all, everybody trust everybody on the early days of the internet.
Not Google, though. Google never trusted anybody.
Yeah. As long as they get their money, they're happy.
If they get their money, they're happy. They'll give you what privacy they can, given the constraints of reality, which are pretty fucking severe these days.
So best case scenario for email for consumers is Gmail?
Gmail. I'm sorry. I don't care how politically incorrect that answer is. If you want any privacy at all, there's no way to do it other than Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
Please, if you don't believe me, buy the fucking spyware, read, verify, and test it. Test it on Proton Mail. You'll find out exactly when someone opens your goddamn email and where. An IP address and the fucking time. Try it with Gmail. It can't be done, people. All right?
Yeah, they actually take as much as they can respect privacy. They do make some attempt to do that.
Yes, they do. Yes.
So they can monetize it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know you're a huge fan of cryptocurrencies as well. Is that the way, if you're wanting to remain private, you should do all your payment transactions?
We do not. Janice and I do not have a bank account. We do not have a credit card. We don't have checks to write. We don't use any money transfer program. Everything is cryptocurrency with us and has been for years.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of thousands of other people on the planet, likewise, never use anything except cryptocurrency. And if I work for somebody or do a job, you got to pay me in cryptocurrency or I'm not working for you. If you want to sell me something like a house, a car, you better take cryptocurrency or I'm not buying. And there's nothing you can't buy with cryptocurrency. Nothing. We purchase houses, cars, bulletproof vests, shoes, food, clothes, you name it. Everything is available for purchase with cryptocurrency.
So I'll admit I'm by no means a cryptocurrency expert, but I know, at least I seem to believe, that if you have like a wallet ID and people are sending money to and from that, doesn't at some point someone say, hey, I sent John money at this cryptocurrency address, kind of say now that this is you, and gaining enough transactions can get an idea of when or where?
Of course, if you're using a currency like Bitcoin or Ethereum, of course, Bitcoin is old, creaky, antique, and so is Bitcoin. But if you're using the newer privacy coins like Monero, no. Oh, yeah, you can say, I sent money to John at this address. Doesn't mean shit. You can't look at that address. With Bitcoin, if I know your address, I can look at it and forever see everything that comes in and goes out. All I need is your address. But if you say I sent John money at this address, doesn't mean jack shit. You still don't know what's in there.
Yeah.
You don't know what my transactions are. I just sent money to John. Who cares what the address is if he says it's John? Right?
But with Bitcoin, I suppose with enough transaction history, you can kind of figure out what, if you learn different restaurants are using these Bitcoin addresses, you can kind of figure out where a person is based on that, for Bitcoin, that is.
Well, no, you don't even need that. All you need is your address. You've got your address, and I can follow you forever and see everything that that comes in and out of your account. Mm-hmm. It's like going to the bank. If a plumber comes to your house and you pay him $40 to fix your sink, and he takes that check to the bank and says, hi, I got a check from John McAfee. Please, from now on, tell me. And first of all, while I'm here, tell me how much money Mr. McAfee has. And they go, oh, certainly, he's got this much. Thank you very much. Now, from now on, please inform me whenever anything comes into his account or leaves it. And they go, yes, of course. That's Bitcoin, people. It's old, antique. It's fucking useless. All right. The newer cryptocurrencies, oh fuck yes, they're awesome.
They respect privacy, whereas everything else is just broadcast.
Everything else, the old technologies are just broadcast. I mean, you might as well put your financial transactions in the New York Times advertising section.
That's pretty scary. I think most people kind of just have this mentality of assuming, well, it's cryptocurrency. I'm sure there's privacy taken into account.
Because people aren't thinking. Everybody thinks Bitcoin is cryptocurrency. Bullshit. Bitcoin may be in the market a huge percentage, but in actual use, nobody uses it anymore. I mean, they used to. They used to be the only coin used. Now nobody does. It's useless.
Mm-hmm.
It says that the market hasn't caught up with it. People are buying and selling, have no clue what they're buying and selling anymore.
But I think that's probably true of most investors.
I'm sorry?
I think that's probably true of most investors. Regardless of whether it's cryptocurrency or anything.
Or anything else. That's right. Oh, hey, I hear this is a hot thing. Let's buy this stock. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those who know go keep the fuck away from Bitcoin, because when it does collapse, it will be huge.
It will be quite brutal. Well, and that's a challenge. You know, it's perceived value as opposed to actual value.
Yeah, well, it has no actual value anymore. No. I mean, try to find anybody who'll take one. I won't. I mean, for example, I just put on my Twitter account a few hours ago. I'm auctioning off my COVID-19 masks, which are all made from women's underwear. All right. And Janice, first of all, wears them to stretch them and soften them. And then I put them on for a few days. And so someone goes, why don't you auction those things? Well, we'll try it. So my first one I auctioned got a huge number of bids. Fuck me. Someone bid $9,000 for them, but they couldn't take it. They can't pay in cryptocurrency, so we throw them away. But we do have a bid for $4,000 payable in privacy coins, because we don't take Bitcoin either, obviously. So crazy. But in any case, crypto, that's it. I mean, and we've gotten hundreds of bids, all crypto. Well, not all. There's 60% crypto. Some people are not quite following my account close enough to understand you're not going to be able to pay me for the goddamn card people or a bank transfer. All right.
We'll rain down money from the heavens.
Yes. Well, in any case, so you know, it's coming along. People are starting to understand it.
So when you move from country to country, how do you maintain your privacy while you're in transit, if you can disclose such things?
Well, I mean, that's not much of a secret. I've published on Twitter many times. Both Janice and I have multiple passports, all legal, by the way, all perfectly fucking legal. If anybody understands international travel well enough, they will know, for example, that if you have a Chinese passport, well, I mean, it's got to be printed in English somewhere for an English-speaking country or whatever to read your name. Mm-hmm. Well, the Chinese name is going to be in Chinese characters. So my name, John McAfee, is not a name in China. My last name in Chinese, I'm not going to tell you the actual. Close to my name in Chinese, Ma Jiafei, Ma Jia F-E. Well, fuck me, that's not McAfee, is it? There's no computer in the fucking world that can connect that passport with me. All right? And the real name is written in Chinese characters, which in Chinese characters is something equivalent to Ma Jiafei. And I speak Chinese, by the way. So, I mean, there are thousands of these little techniques you can use to cross borders as a completely different person legally without breaking any fucking laws. Do you understand? So now, I'm John McAfee. Please come, people. If there's a way to do it, I have figured it out and do it. All right.
So, do people recognize you when you're traveling?
Unfortunately, quite a bit. However, when we travel, okay, so here's the real problem. It's not just me. I travel with Janice. Mm-hmm. You know, beautiful young black woman, half my fucking age. Now, really, that's the comment. So if we are really worried about recognition, we'll split up, not days apart, but a few minutes apart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hey, baby, get off the airplane first and go on. I'll meet you at gate so-and-so at 7:30. Okay, cool. And that way it cuts the recognition by about 95%.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll wear glasses, I wear a hat, like a baseball hat, backwards, and a hoodie on top of that sometimes with the beak forward. And a scarf around my face. And now that we're in coronavirus, well, fuck me, thanks Lord, right?
People get upset with you because you don't have your face covered.
Yeah, so now, what a piece of cake is that, right? So you put me in a baseball hat, a hoodie, much bigger glasses than this, and a mask. I'm not recognizable. I am sorry. Not by the greatest face recognition system on this planet. I'm not.
So, like, are there other aspects of privacy that people don't think about that you think about, or you think people should be thinking more about?
Friends. This is the biggest problem. All right. No matter how careful you are, how smart you are, we all have friends.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those friends are not quite as aware of reality as we are. I hate to admit this. So, unfortunately, we have to lie to our friends as well as the public. Why? Because you just don't know. Oh, hey, John and Janice, they're in Belarus. They are? Was I not supposed to say that? No, you understand? So, this is what people don't realize the severity of privacy, how hard it is these days. You cannot tell your family, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your children, your best friend, the kid that grew up with you, went to jail with you maybe, the guy who would help you bury a body. You can't be honest with them anymore about where you are or when you are. And people don't understand this part. And this is where people trip up. Because you can't tell anybody. Now, the second hardest thing, because the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, their analysts are not stupid. So you have to somehow pretend that you are somewhere without being overt about it. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to have a compatriot say in their Twitter account, I saw you in Portugal. And then you make all this, oh, no, wasn't me, it was, so it's shit like that the analysts don't have a formula for. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. It's all profiling. Well, it's John McAfee, 75. He knows this. He knows that. He does this. He won't understand this. He won't understand that. He won't go there. Well, those are the things I have to do. Mm-hmm. all the things that my profile tell the world I won't do. That's what I have to do. And I have to make a huge effort to convince those after me that I am somewhere trying desperately not to be discovered. Like, he's in Portugal. We know he's there because he's so guaranteed not there. Someone said they saw him there, and he goes, "Oh no, I'm not here. Go through my Twitter account. It's peppered with that shit." Those are the other things. But basically, people, you cannot trust anybody. Not that they would turn on you. Not that your parents would try to harm you. No, they're just stupid. I'm sorry. And will let slip in conversation or in some way Oh, John and Janice went to a Russian wrestling ring last week. Okay, well, thank you very much, kids. I know. you know.
Sounds like the costs of good privacy are very, very steep.
They are, people. They are. Is it worth it to you or not? Most people, it's not worth it. In fact, I would not advise my lifestyle for anybody. I really would not. However, how important is your privacy? For Janice and I, it's critical. Mm-hmm. Extremely. Therefore, we have to go through those things, which most people simply don't think about.
So what do you think is, without knowing other people, what is a good balance for most people? Obviously, most people are not going to take the extremes that you have because of your situation, but other people, like, they want to have some privacy.
And I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you've got no privacy if you have a smartphone. I can tell you that. So if you have a smartphone, forget privacy. You will never have it. It's designed to do one thing: spy on you. Not for some insidious, evil purpose. No. So that people can sell you shit. Got to know where you are, who you're with. Have you been there before? What's your favorite food? Seems to be Japanese. Well, goddamn, there's a Japanese restaurant around the corner. I wonder if they will pay 85 cents to send an ad to you to eat there, right? We noticed you're near a shoe store. It's been 7 months since you bought shoes. We noticed you bought brown loafers last time. There's some black loafers right across the street. No, fuck me. You know this is true. Have any of you ever Googled something and then 30 seconds later gone to Facebook and had an ad for the very fucking thing you have Googled? I mean, good God. So it's not there designed to fuck you over. It's designed just to sell you shit. However, every single facility in that phone that is used by marketers to sell you shit is used by the underbelly of society, either hackers, thieves, gangsters, the CIA, the worst of all gangsters, FBI, second worst, or what have you, use those facilities in a snap. Mm-hmm. They're designed to be used to track you.
And for most people, it's voluntary.
Well, of course it's voluntary. And as a matter of fact, when you download an app, it says, we need to access your contacts. Oh, yeah, sure. We need to access your microphone. Yeah, not a problem. We need to access your camera. Not a problem. If I can access your contacts, your microphone, and your camera, I can spy on you and we'll be fucking friends forever. Do you understand? No, this is the absurdity. You signed up to be spied on, people. I mean, you say, yes, may we spy on you? Yes. Well, how about if we actually turn the camera on whenever we want? Absolutely. But what if we used a microphone to listen to you? Not a problem. Well, hey, how about we see who your friends are? Do you mind? No, fuck no, do it. People, wake the fuck up. I don't know what else to say.
The answer is you have no privacy unless you live like a caveman.
That's what. Well, we're not living like cavemen at all. This is kind of. This used to be a fucking cave that was just lined in tinfoil. Okay, no, it's a cave that's more like a cave, dark, spooky, closed. Nevertheless, yeah, we have to live this way, people. Not everybody does. I mean, if we did not, I would be silenced. I would not be able, my friend, to talk to you like I am talking to you now. Because do you think the United States government wants me free to say what I am saying about their agencies that invade the lives of U.S. citizens? No, they don't want me free to say that. And I think it needs to be said, people. I think that if I don't say it, then who the fuck will?
Mm-hmm.
Because else is willing to live like this in order to speak to you about what I know to be the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're not in my shoes, then I wouldn't worry too much. I mean, I do not think the government gives a shit what kind of pornography you watch on Pornhub, who you might be cheating with on your spouse, whether you're stealing candy bars from the local store. No, I don't think they give a shit. They care about far more insidious things. What are you thinking? Are your thoughts, actions, and attitudes supportive of the police state that is growing around you or not? That's important. You say something to a friend like, fuck me, we're turning into Nazi Germany. Well, they care about that shit. And you're liable to be picked up. You don't think so? Wake the fuck up, people. It's happening around you today all over. You speak out. What's the first thing that happens? They shut down your social media. Or restrict it so you can only say certain things. Because, number one, listen, if we're going to disappear your sorry ass, we don't want the world watching while we're doing it. So we'll shut down your social media. People forget about you, forget you even exist, and then you don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Am I a paranoid conspiracy theorist? I don't give a shit what you call it. I'm 75 years old. I founded the world's largest computer security company, not by not understanding the reality of the world, but by understanding the reality of this world. And I'm telling you what I believe to be the truth. And you may call me as you wish. I could give a flying fuck, quite frankly.
So would you consider someone like Julian Assange a hero for disclosing?
Well, obviously, he was on our side. I think he made some critically poor decisions, else he'd still be free. I mean, listen, if Julian Assange and Edward Snowden had merely called me and spent 5 minutes saying, Mr. McAfee, what do you think I should do? I go, you called the right person. He would never have gone to London, would never have had to hole up in that fucking embassy. If Edward Snowden had called me before he left Hong Kong for Russia, I go, dude, do not get on that fucking plane. You're in Hong Kong, you say? Perfect. Here are 5 telephone numbers of people in the back streets of Hong Kong who could use your talents, get you a new name, get a couple of Hong Kong beautiful young girls and live with them both forever and marry them both if you want. They don't give a shit in Hong Kong, and live your life. No. He hopped on a plane not to Russia, but to Ecuador, which had to go through Russia. Now, what idiot does that? What happened? He was not allowed to live in Russia. Now, he's not being tortured, I'm sure, and probably treated well. But it's fucking cold in Russia. In the winter, people, I'm just saying. So, no, they're both heroes. They were just simply unprepared. Because I think a hero is someone capable of accomplishing. And I'm trying to find a word which is not dissing the people. A patriot, true patriot, that should have stayed home, perhaps, who tries and fails. Because, listen, Julian Assange could have unwound the nightmare happening around us now had he been able to stay free.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward Snowden, had he been allowed to go to Ecuador, where they would have given him a great deal of fucking freedom, could have told us more. But now, the only person that Edward Snowden can tell is Russia. Do you understand why they kept him? They don't want the rest of us knowing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they grill him 2 hours a day, every fucking day, 7 days a week. That's a tragedy, see. That's a tragedy. Had they been prepared. See, both brilliant people. Brilliant. Edward Snowden worked for Booz Allen and Hamilton. I worked for Booz Allen and Hamilton in 1978, 79, and 80. Awesome fucking company. But I've been around the world more times than I can count, and I've been arrested 21 times in 11 different countries. I know the fucking ropes, which is why I am still free to speak to you. And we'll never hear from Julian Assange again. And the only thing we'll hear from Edward Snowden is what Russia allows him to tell us. Do you see? Do you see? So this is anybody else out there who is skating the edge of this political universe. Before you fall off, God damn it, get in touch with me. Because I can save you a great deal of trouble. And unfortunately, we're out of time. And thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Easy Pray podcast. Notes and a transcript of this episode with John McAfee can be found at easypray.com/26.